Welcome back to Casual Conversations. I'm your host, Ryan Bean, here with my talented co-host and good friend that's going to Italy without me, Elena Sweetster. And
I'll send you a postcard.
I'm sure she won't. She'll forget, guaranteed. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us on another episode. Excited to kind of get into today's conversation as always.
Time out. We cheers and we did not drink after.
Yeah. Oh, that's
we were having bourbon today. You know why? Hold on.
My son got accepted to his number one choice, which is University of Arkansas. So that's probably where he's going to end up going to school.
When did you get the news?
So we got the news late last week, so about a week ago.
What an asshole! You didn't tell any of us.
Well,
I was setting you up for failure.
Well, there's
I'm invested in your kids.
You are, we wanted, but I also wanted to make it Dylan's news too, right?
Yeah,
so I wanted to make sure it was Dylan's cool with me talking about those type of things. It's still his news to share.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is, so he's done a few college campuses. He did love Oregon. Mm-hmm. Shout out to my good friends out there in Eugene that showed him a good time, because my son loves to be outside, as you guys all know.
Yeah.
Talked about his fishing career, and he loves nature. He's his father's son, so he loves to be outdoors. He loves to enjoy life, live life, those type of things. So couldn't be prouder of him. First of all, he has put the work in, over his 4 years in school to do well, and has been accepted to multiple colleges. But he really enjoyed the University of Arkansas.
That's cool.
He loved the fact it was still close enough to Dallas where he can go get some independence.
How far
but
away?
it's about 5 hours.
Drive,
yeah. So Fayetteville, great little college town, close to Bentonville, up by the Lake of the Ozarks. So what's crazy is that, back in the day, if you got accepted, you waited for the acceptance letter. You waited for like a welcome package and all that thing. Now they send you an email, because now you're in these portals.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, congratulations. So Dylan sends us a screenshot. So I think it kind of took away.
Like opening the letter.
Yeah. I felt kind of bad for him, because he still will get that.
Yeah.
He's still going to get it. But it's like, we want to let you guys know now, because everything runs so fast. And I will tell you, God bless my wife, because she is handling all of that type of stuff when it comes to the scholarships and the kids, college funds and what to apply for.
Everybody
essays.
needs an Allison in their life.
Oh my gosh. I look at.
If I had an Allison in my life, I'd probably
Dude, she
in
takes
my household
so much off my plate. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, because I just wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
But anyway, so shout out to my son. Super proud of him. Again, it's not for sure, but that up to this point has been his number one college. It's most likely where he's going to end up going, and we couldn't be happier for him. Got to figure out how to pay for this thing now. College is expensive.
You can always open up an OnlyFans account. I heard you make some good money on there.
Not me. Maybe.
I bet your dance moves, when he has a couple bourbons in him and his dance move, what you
I still can get low. I can still get low.
I bet there is a lot of women.
My knees have to recover for a couple of days after. But you know what? I'm gonna put a
We live for Ryan dancing.
I'm gonna give it a college try when I'm out there for sure. I'm not gonna let anyone see the pain that I'm in the next couple of days recovering from it. But I told Elsie, maybe you just gotta put your feet out there or something like that. It's just your feet. She does.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
What are you doing here,
You
Allison?
can easily put our kids through college. What are we doing?
She got good feet, good booty. You guys make a lot of money.
Yeah, that's not us though. We're not. I can't share my wife. So.
I know, which would be probably a good topic to talk about at some point.
At some point, I just that's a whole different world, and a whole different a different thing that I don't get into. But and it's something that's completely what we would be against, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day. Couldn't be happier for our son.
That's exciting. That's wild.
I could be happier for you to going on vacation without me, but we're pumped for you guys.
We'll plan it next year. It'll be actually October. Then, like all my Europe trips probably will be around this time.
Fall's the best time to go.
The more that I was looking into it and doing research on everything, right in between, but not during Thanksgiving, because that's when the Americans go.
September, October is the best time.
End of October is the best time to go.
Yeah, anytime between September and October, in my opinion, which was the first time I traveled to Italy. And I know we're going to end up talking a lot about Italy, but one, because you guys know how much I love it. That's my culture for one. And then this is obviously her first trip over there. So I could talk about Italy for hours, literally, because I can't wait to be there.
The more I literally am just in like a real loop looking at Italian.
It's going to blow your mind, but it's just.
We're doing a vineyard, a family day vineyard.
See?
And Keanu will be there.
I don't even want to hear about this.
And I checked in, I know what I want to talk about today, because I noticed this when I was booking my European trip. But before I say that, so I messaged wherever I booked the winery stuff, and I was like, I'll have my 5-year-old. Is that okay? Like, is this a thing for 5-year-old? They're like, well, obviously the wine, not. He was like, but they have juices. They accept children in their lives over there. Where I feel like in America, we treat them like they're an inconvenience.
Oh my gosh.
Like the fact that they're like every store, every restaurant, they're like, bring your kids.
Yes.
They're like every time they see a kid in the streets, they're like, ciao.
It's all family.
And they say like to the kids,
and they're gonna eat Kian up too. Kian's such a great looking kid. First of all, he is gonna get eaten up over there. I will be shocked if you don't get all kinds of free stuff that kid gets, and well deserved, because that's what it's all about. But that is why I love it over there. I mean, the sheer beauty. Well, they just love family and they love people,
it's
and
their culture. It's
their culture, and they just love. Like I said, they're kind, they're friendly, they're warm. They love doing what I love doing. I connect so well with them. One, it's my heritage, but also because I love people and I love being around people. I know that about myself. I'm not a person that does well alone. It's every now and then you want some quiet time, but I just genuinely love talking to people, learning about people, their different cultures, what makes them tick.
What makes you different.
Yeah.
And that's why most people...
What makes you more well-rounded. It makes you more understanding. It makes you more compassionate. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we were talking about it last night, and if I'm being honest, right, this is what the podcast is for, I cried last night out of not sadness, but of gratitude. And I was telling Cole, and I were talking about after Kian went to bed, I was like, because I told you before I put Kian to bed, he was like, can you tell me this short story? And so it's The Adventures of Kian. And so I was like, tonight's story is the adventure of Kian going to Italy. And so we were just talking about that. And, I walked out of the room, I started getting emotional. I'm like, I just feel so blessed that I'm able to take my child to a place to help adapt his life.
Right.
I'm not doing it as like a spoiling aspect, but I'm like, traveling changes you in a good way, in my opinion.
It's 1,000%. It's my and Allison's biggest hobby is to travel. We absolutely love it.
England-Ireland trip changed me and Cole in ways I can't explain. Like the way we appreciate, like the way we just look at life, I guess.
Right.
Like how they just love life in Europe. And I feel like in America we get so caught up in the money.
Right.
And there people are like, I don't care if I live in a villa or a small house because I have this rich life that's not monetary.
Yeah.
And so the more I did research on it, I was like, if you do a winery here, they'll be like, don't bring kids. No kids. But they're like, bring your family because your family is a part of you.
Right. And at the end of the day, you'll see some kids out there probably working, working the vineyards, right? Because it's family businesses and family vineyards. And I couldn't be more over the moon for you guys to go do it. And and again, I think you're spot on. And I've met some of the most amazing people ever from traveling.
Yeah.
And I think Anthony Bourdain said it once, because I'm a big foodie, as is Elena. Go to the local pub.
How'd you look at my body like that when you said I'm a big foodie?
I didn't look
at your body. You just went, oh.
She's so full of crap. I didn't do any of that stuff.
I'm just kidding.
I'm looking at myself. But anyway, I'm looking. We are foodies. We are big foodies, and we're gonna do cooking with casual conversation on a future episode. It's coming up, guys. We're gonna switch up some content because that way, we can break the monotony
of our. I wanted to do lunch with casual conversations, but I didn't want to slurp and soup.
Yeah, we're gonna mix it up because we both love to cook. Yeah. We both love food, and we also believe that sharing the time in the kitchen and sharing stories around food is a big deal. Yeah. But going, like I said, when you guys go over there, what not only is it just gonna open up your eyes, but you get to meet. What you find is that you have all these different upbringings, you have all of this different values, and at the end of the day, most people are so much alike, and no matter what walk of life they come from, no matter what their upbringing was, no matter how what they were exposed to, for the most part, you're going to meet people that are like-minded like you. They just want to work hard, have a good life, be as safe as possible, live as long as possible, and enjoy the small window of time that we're on this planet. And with all of this nonsense that's going on around with politics and he said, she said, pointing fingers. And at the end of the day, this is when you lean on relationships, you lean on prayer, you try to become a better version of yourself. You have gratitude every day. So to say that you walked out of Kian's room and what hit you was gratitude. We are so blessed.
Yeah.
And even if we didn't have those things, and even if you couldn't go on a trip with Italy, if you had nothing more than the bond you have with your husband and your son, and the fact that he's in a safe home and he's in a good neighborhood and he's going to have a great life, if you just wrap your head around that accomplishment alone, everything else is nice, but it won't drive you.
I feel like I think they enjoy their life over there so much because they're just not as rushed. And the
slows you
food,
down, which is unnecessary.
Food aspect
Yeah.
should prove it. Where, you know, specifically when you're thinking things to do in Italy, not do. You don't rush food. You don't walk with food and eat food.
No.
You get it and you eat it where you're at. You enjoy the food.
Yes.
And then I remember one reservation was like, if you make a reservation, you can be there all night because food is something that you share and experience with somebody, right? Where in America, what do?
Scarf it down. Yeah.
Fast food in our car.
Well, when you think about the conversations that you have with people around it, and the laughter, tears, hugs, kisses, you know, grandparents, you know, doing family recipes, all the things that come around with it, right? Just the big, you know, big shindigs or the big holiday get-togethers, all of those things create so much lifelong memories. You know, I'm huge on it.
I'll tell you, there's something about being with your close friends or those you love that you trust completely. And I'll say it. Most people you're not expecting what I'm about to say. There's something about having a good drink and having a good buzz with your friends.
It's the greatest.
And even I'll take a step further. Like as females, when we sit there and we can relate and we cry together and we bond together, you know what I mean? It's so special about that.
Well, because it's real. And at the end of the day,
they're like, they'll sit there at a pub and they'll drink and they'll get real with each other. It might get stupid too, but
sure.
You know,
you still got to cut it off at some point. But
I'm saying, but like, there's something about just having that, like, the connection. I think we missed that. We missed connection over here.
Yeah, and I think we've gotten too far away from it, and that's, you know, why we're here. You know, why you and I wanted to do this is because, like I said, it's getting out of hand, and we've lost our way. Yeah, and
like you don't buy food to keep in your house. There, you go to the store every day and you buy fresh.
Or you walk with your spouse and you take a walk to the market and you pick out dinner, and while on the way you're having a conversation, you're taking in people and you're taking in nature and you're taking in sounds. And you're not staring at a phone, you're not staring at a TV. You're living real life. You're seeing real life unfold in front of you. And like I said, you guys, my friends all know me and they know me well enough. I probably live and love life more than most. And I just get more and more of an appreciation for it every single day.
Yeah, I told Cole last night, I was like, I feel like we're gonna come back and we're doing it wrong.
No, I think
we're doing life wrong. Like, as in the rushing so much, you know, like not me and him in general, but like America in general, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I wish we could adopt more of, and so you're going to have some of those sarcastic people and be like, oh, you hate America. I love America.
Love America.
I love where I live. I'm just saying there can always be room for improvement.
What was this podcast about? It's about getting better. It's about bettering yourself. It's about learning from other people.
But how can we be truly free if we feel like we're caged up all the time with our debt that we Americans put in because our consumption?
We gotta get our priorities right.
Our mind is not free here because we're so set on the dollar. Where the dollar is over there makes sense, but they live life. That's freedom to me.
Absolutely. You know, what are you doing? Right? At the end of the day, it's like, you know, I could tell you this, you know, one of my greatest and biggest fears, and I may have said this before, is regret. Yeah. At the end of my day, you know, putting us on a podcast, you know, the things that I'm not happy where I'm at, I'm not happy where weight-wise I'm at, I'm not happy where I'm at in my life, I'm not content where I'm in life, but I'm putting myself out there because I want to look back at my life and I want my kids more than anything to say, you know what, my dad put his money where his mouth was. He didn't just preach it, he lived it. He lived life. He took risks. He tried to make memories. He tried to travel. He tried to take chances, even though things might flop. I don't think this will be a failure. At the end of the day, we will have got so many great conversations. We'll have met so many great people. I will have taken so much great information and advice. And likewise,
honestly, you got me through some of the darkest times in my life.
I really appreciate that, and vice versa. And our friends do that well, right? So, like, if that's all I had to gain from this, I'm a winner. I won 100%, and it's going to change you because you're going to realize is that, yes, money and all those things are important to have. It's a necessity, absolutely. But it's not what's going to make you happy in life. It makes it easier. It takes a burden off of you. So, and again, I'm driven by it, guys. But I can tell you, I was someone that was driven solely by money, especially in my 20s, early 30s. That's all I cared about. It was about, how do I get to the next level as fast as possible? How do I get to a level of comfort as fast as possible? And now as I'm getting older and I'm getting, you know, I've gone through some things and I've gone through life experiences and seeing my kids grow up, and I see them having a great life, and I see I know that my wife and I have given our kids a great life. And we have let them shine, and we've let them do the things that they want to do, and we've let them attack their dreams. That to me is worth so much more than anything that would be in my bank account. And I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. The fact I was able to retire my wife when she was in her 20s so that she could be a stay-at-home mom and raise our family and manage the household and become the CEO of our life. At the end of the day, my wife is the boss. Maybe people might look at it as, okay, Ryan, you go create the financial aspect of the bit. That is my one task.
Well, we said many times, the wife is the heart of the family.
Oh, shoot, it's 100%. Right? Yeah, absolutely.
And we are what grounds our family. Yeah. Boys specifically need their mamas. Girls need their mamas, but they need their daddies too, right? But absolutely, the wife's motherly nature changes the whole dynamic of a family's future, in my opinion.
It does,
I saw something and it was
we've downplayed it. Yeah. We have diminished how critical that role really is.
Oh yeah.
And guys, what do we have to show for it? You know, again, a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. have a pretty hard stance on this topic, and I believe that there are things that men do well, and there are things that men need to do. And I think that there's things that women do exceptionally well that men can never do. And when people both recognize what their roles are and they accept that their roles are for the betterment of the family and the betterment of the children and the betterment of the marriage, when they wrap their head around the give and not take, right? I tell my wife all the time, how do I become a better husband for you? What can I do to be a better person? How do I become a better father? And again, guys, I'm making mistakes every day. I make mistakes with my kids. I punish them the wrong way. I yell at them too much. I snap at them too quickly. And I think all of us are guilty of those type of things. But my wife is in a position, and our relationship is so strong where that she could pull me aside, call me out on that bullshit, and say, look, Ryan, I had your back because you're my husband,
but right.
It's not right, or I disagree with this, and we need to fix this together. We need to come on, and she's, 9 times out of 10, she's right.
You are recognizing it, and you're making efforts to change it, because how many times the old school ways of, the old dads are like, doesn't matter, my way or highway. I make the money.
Well,
so you're going to do running my house the way I run
And
this
what does that lead to? It leads to a wife that resents you. It leads to a marriage that's not healthy.
This is who I am. Those are the most toxic people.
And I Allison and I, it's a we.
Yeah.
Right? Everything's we. We have an income. We have a home. We have cars. We have kids. We have investments. It's not Ryan makes the money, so I have more of a say. No, we have a say. It's everything that my wife and I do is a 100% partnership, 1,000%. And that's some of the best advice and again, most people, a lot of people, or half the people, right? Because that's what the divorce rate is. Half the people get it wrong, and they have to start over, and they have to start over late in life. I've been very fortunate to this point. Anything can happen. I don't think that's going to happen because it is such a priority to my wife and I that we have a happy marriage.
Yes.
So before all else, she is my number one. She will always be, no matter what. If I had to sell this house and sell everything and get rid of everything and start over, and all I had was her, I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah, because you have the right basics.
And we would build it together because we know what the priority is. And the priority is how do we keep our marriage healthy and how do we keep our marriage strong? And then you can achieve the world.
I remember my therapist one time saying, he's like, Elena, because I forgot the exact topic we were talking about, but he said something like, Elena, if you could not sell real estate ever again, and you had to get out of the industry and you had to go sell vacuums, I know you'd be successful. It's because who you are. Yeah. And I think most people forget it's not what you are, it's who you are. Right.
Yeah. And if you're and you got to be the person that you need to be, right? Or that you should be. You got to be the real you. And I see so much stuff out there all the time, and the people that we know. And I'm like, I know the real you.
Yeah.
I've been around the real you. And you're not doing yourselves any favors. Like, people are going to, if people want to be around you, or like, even like this podcast, for the people that actually want to listen to us, the people that see value in what we're saying, the people that can relate to what we're going through, that would never put themselves on camera, would never talk openly about some of the things that we talk openly about, would never compliment their spouse because of the backlash they might get. I truly do not care.
Yeah.
I do not care what anyone thinks. I don't care about those people. What their journey has nothing to do with my life. What path they take, what decisions they make, what they think about me has nothing to do with me. And I can tell you the sooner, and I want my kids to learn this, and it's hard because I have 2 teenage kids that are still very much trying to fit in and find their friends. And, you know, we all have to go through that process. My kids have to go through that process as well.
You have to let them too.
Yeah, and as painful as it is to watch, because I know they've made bad decisions on friends. I know there's been kids that have been in their circle that I didn't care for. But if I raised them correctly, they're going to eventually filter those people out of their lives naturally. And typically, for the most part, it's happened, right?
You know, I remember telling my mom one time, because I grew up under a rock in high school. I didn't party. That's probably why I got cheated on, because they wanted to go party, and I never partied, right? Because I didn't have a curfew, because I didn't get to go out, right? So when I went to college, I went nuts, right? I was like, freedom, right? I've said it before. I got a 1.92 my first year in college.
Well, that's why you got to. Well, that's why you got to be careful, and you still got to let your kids live, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And so I look back, and I remember it was one point, is right before I started dating Cole, and I started getting my shit together, really. And my mom and I were going back and forth, because she and I butted heads hard, because she was definitely that mom that was a protective mom, but also a controlling protective mom.
She was a helicopter mom.
Right. And she did it out of love, not out of a narcissistic way. She did it because she wanted the best.
She just was so worried. She was so worried.
With no money.
Yeah.
And she wanted her kids to have a good future, right?
Yeah.
And so I get why, and I've forgiven her for that, because I'm like, oh, I didn't get to experience high school, and I didn't get to do college, really. And I look back on it now, she's just doing what she thought was best to protect us. But I remember telling her, I said, at some point, Mom, you have to trust your parenting. You have to trust that I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, you gotta, and I think we all need to learn that. We all need to listen to that advice, and it's great advice. And, you know, one of the things that my daughter had sent me a long time ago, and I'm sure I've talked about it before, because that's what I usually do, is repeat myself on this podcast. But, you know, not everyone listens to every episode, so maybe my odds go up, right? But one of the things that she had talked about was that you have to look at it. What hit her, she saw a post that said, anytime you're upset with your parents, or anytime you disagree with them, or you're at the point where you just can't stand them, you need to remember this is their first life too. Yep. And this hit my daughter. This was something she sent me, and she had the little tear emoji, like, you know, like, because it hit her, like, you know, me arguing, or me and her mom arguing, and she's recognizing we're trying to do the best we can as first-time parents.
Yeah.
This is for every chapter that turns, every day that goes by, every year that goes by, it presents new challenges. Yeah. And it presents new challenges with both of my kids, having a boy and a girl. You know, hopefully one day you get the experience of boys and girls. You have a boy now. Well, that comes with a whole other set of problems. There's pros and cons to both sexes. Yeah. You heard me say it, 2 sexes. So you heard it here first, right? So there's pros and cons to both of those, and you learn these things over time, but you learn these lessons too. And all you can do is do the best you can with the information you're given, and you have to be willing to understand that you're going to fall down so many times. You're going to make so many mistakes. You're going to look back and go, man, I was too hard on them. Man, I should have given them a little bit more leash. Man, I should have trusted them sooner. And it's so hard for a parent to trust.
Well, it comes from a place that, you know, like with my mom and dad. My dad was the first to just graduate high school, I'm pretty sure. And then he went from being poor to building you've seen his house and his life and his children, being able to do that.
Yes.
And I think the reason, and my mom
shout out to him, by the way.
Yeah, and my mom
his tail off to give his kids a good life.
Yeah, hot dogs and rice for dinner, and beans and chili, because that's all they could afford, right? And so I think my mom and dad came from a place where, like, we don't ever want our kids to experience that. And I think that's why my mom's always like, eat more. We got food in the pantry, because she's like, I can provide that. You know,
right.
And nothing against my grandparents. That's just
they did the best they could.
That's the time of where they grew up.
Well, we're so spoiled too. If you think about when we were born, look at us right now, us raising kids, and when we're alive, for this small window. And we've talked about this too. Technology, the conveniences that we have. We got someone else doing our grocery shopping for us now, right?
Dropping it off at our front door.
Yeah, or you, like I said, you drive to Walmart pickup and you got your groceries already pulled for you, because we can't be bothered to walk in the store and shop and deal with this stuff. We have Amazon delivered to our front door. We have a movie within seconds if we want to rent it. We have so much convenience, and we have so much opportunity. We have so much opportunity to make way more money. They were still coming up in the stages of figuring it out, and we're still figuring certain things out, but they have figured out. I mean, I told my wife, there's no way she could have lived 100 years ago, because she couldn't have lived without air conditioning. She couldn't have lived in this heat. She could have lived in this heat. She could have lived without all just some of the things that we have. So we're just so fortunate.
Oh, I remember with Kian. There was one time when he was first born, and I started introducing formula.
Mhm.
So I only breastfed for 6 months.
Yep.
And then because work, and I just couldn't balance I couldn't balance working and pumping, and I was like, I told Cole, for my mental health, I have to be done because I had to go back to work right after 2 months. So, anyways, I remember it was middle of the night, and we were feeding him, and we ran out of milk. Got on Amazon, ordered it. It was delivered at 4 a.m. the next morning.
Yeah.
My mom didn't have that.
No. Correct.
You know,
what would your mom have to do? What would your mom have to do if your dad wasn't there?
Have fat,
right. Or she would have tried to load you up in the car and make it and drive or whatever. Yeah. Anyway.
It's convenience. But yes, you know, every stage, like, and I have a lot of gratitude for my parents because they were the ones that broke the chain for their families, right?
Yeah.
And that's not an easy thing to do.
Someone
my husband's
has to do
going through it. I'm kind of going through it, and it's like it's not an easy thing to do.
It's the hardest thing to do, but someone has to do it, and someone has to do it without those kids losing the value of what that took.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this about your family. I don't know them too well, but I've been around them a handful of times. And they're just great people. Is they did great by teaching you ethics, morals, how to care for people, how to not judge people. They brought you up in a religious, loving family. They cared. They're still married, so they wanted you guys to set those examples. So when you look at those type of things, and they did, they make some wrong calls. Of course they did, right? And you're going to make those adjustments. My kids are going to make adjustments to how they raise their kids. But the nuts and bolts, the base, the foundation is always going to be there, and that foundation's never going to change because you are who you are because of what they did, and you're going to pass those things down to Kian as well. He's going to have his own foundation, but there's going to be things that you disagree with as he gets older because he's going to do it differently than you.
Yeah.
But guess what? You have to remember how you were to your parents and say, wait, it's my journey. I want to do it this way.
Yeah.
And you got to be okay with it. As painful as it might be for you to sit up, to take the back seat, it's their life. They got to live it. And you have to let these kids do it because if you baby them too far along the way, what you're telling your kid is, I don't believe you can do it.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go out on your own and make it. You're doing them a disservice. You really are.
So it happened 2 weeks ago. My family was in town in Dave & Buster's. My sister did the claw machine, the human claw. Have you done that?
I haven't.
They strap you up. You are the claw.
Oh my God! Don't get me on that bad boy. Give me a big bunny.
So you get to grab as many as you want, and then you get to keep one. And the guy at Dave & Buster's knew it. We had my son and my niece, so he was like, just keep 2. But it's these big inflatable things, right? And I'm like, this is going to go in the trash anyway. So they had a black cat for Halloween, and they had a mummy. And so I told Kian was trying to pick which one he wanted. And I was like, get the mummy. And he's like, but I want the surfboard. I was like, but you're not going to use the surfboard. Get the mummy, and then we can use that for your Halloween room. And Cole said, but he wants the surfboard. And so I got pissed because I was like, well, that's going to go to waste. I'd rather him get something we're going to use. And so the more we walked through Dave & Buster's, Cole's like, but he wanted the surfboard. And I had to sit back and be like, you're right. He wanted that. I had to let him make his choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a simple little thing like that. But I'm like, so it's good to have Cole because he balances me out of that natural controlling that I get to.
Well, you're the mom, and you get that. The mama bear comes out.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah. Allison's the same way, right? and I've told Allison, I said, these kids are not going to be practical. These kids are freaking 16 and 17 years old. They're going to blow their money on a Whataburger. They're going to blow their money on fast food. They're going to blow their money. Dylan's going to blow his money on bait at Academy, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to drive you crazy. And at the end of the day, he will figure it out. She will figure it out. She'll be like, wow, I wasted so much money. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
We try to tell you. You didn't want to listen.
Influences, right? We can't make their choices. And that's a hard thing for me to swallow when it comes to being a mom.
You have to let them fall.
Yeah.
And it's it's a hard thing to do. And it's because it's going to come with some pain.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that pain is the greatest the greatest teachers.
I do have a proud moment with my kid that I know you'd be happy to hear.
Yeah, let me hear that.
So yesterday,
and I do have a shout out too from a text I got from my friend.
Yes, we got to talk about that.
I definitely want to make sure I share that.
So yesterday we're sitting there. Kian comes home from school, and usually when he's at school all day, I'm like, yeah, let's cartoon and cuddle, bro, because you've been doing school all day.
Yeah.
So we were sitting there before we turned on the cartoons, and he goes, "Mommy, I have to tell you." And I was like, you got in trouble. In my head, I didn't say that. I was like, what? And he goes, so there's a kid in our class that likes to hit all the kids. And I was like, oh, did you get hit today? And he goes, no, because he hit all my friends. And then he came up to me and hit me. And I said, no, you cannot. It's not nice to hit. And you can't hit other friends. And I said, you stood up for your friends? And he goes, yeah, I stood up. I was a leader today. And I was like, dude, I'm so proud of you.
Yep.
You know, because we keep telling him you have to lead by example.
Right.
Not by words. You have to lead by example.
Right.
And he's like, I told him it's not nice to hit my friends. I was like, you protected your friends. Good job, bud.
Yeah, you're just putting all this good stuff into a soul at a young age, right? It's all these little things that you do. You're not even, sometimes you get these little glimpses of how it's setting in. But obviously you're going, okay, is my kid actually understanding what I'm teaching him? Is my kid actually learning these lessons? Or is he too young to understand it? No, he's very much a sponge right now that can take that stuff on. So that's awesome. That's a great
buffalo, my friend.
Be the buffalo.
All right, what did your friend text?
All right, yeah, so I will say this.
I told him not to tell me ahead of time because I wanted to hear this.
No, and my wife and I got this text message a couple days ago, and it was completely random. And there's a reason why I want to talk about it, and kind of similar to what you just talked about with Kian. You put these things out there. You try to be a good friend. You know, me and Allison just try to be good people and try to be genuine and try to be a good friend. And we do it for nothing. We don't want anything in return. Yeah. We don't do it for anything except for the fact that we get joy out of doing it. Yeah. So he sends us this random text, completely random. Haven't seen him in a little bit. Haven't been around him in a little bit. Completely out of left field. Hey, Beans, just want to share that we are so thankful for having you in our lives and our kids' lives especially. You are truly special people. I'm so sorry for the gushy text and putting the feelers in the feelers, but sometimes these things just need to be said. We love you. Just wanted to let you know.
Dude.
Yeah. So
I love that.
First of all, those are amazing things to get, right? That to me is so valuable. But the reason I wanted to share it is because, you know, you never know what people are going through. And although Allison and I paint a picture of a very beautiful life and great friends and career and kids, it doesn't come without our own hardships and our own stresses and our own arguments and lots of things that go on behind closed doors, right? We are not perfect people. We make mistakes, like I said earlier. We argue, we fight. Our kids drive us crazy. We drive each other crazy. All of these things, and you know, people could be going through a really hard time. And him sending a text like that, you never know when something like that hits somebody at the perfect time when they need to hear it. And when we talk about signs and we talk about, you know, opportunities and that there's signs out there everywhere, you just got to be open to actually seeing them. You have to actually understand when these signs are hitting you smack dab in the face and we ignore them. And it couldn't have been a bigger sign not because of us being a bad place or anything like that, but just realizing that he understood that sometimes people in your group just need to hear it.
Yeah.
And when you just take an extra 10 seconds, which took him 10 seconds to send that text, and here we are talking about it a week later, goes to show you that showing someone you care, take the 10 seconds. You're on your phone all the time. We all know you are. You know you are. You're scrolling. You're watching mindless freaking crap on TV. You're watching mindless crap on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and all of this stuff. Go through your contact list. Go to those people that you haven't contacted in a while. People that have impacted you or someone that you really connect with, and send them a text like that. You never know how
much they needed to hear
that. My gosh.
There's been times I've gone random texts and I'm like,
and it makes you open your eyes to just it brings you back down to earth. It just grounds you. It gets you back down there. So shout out. It was a very, very thoughtful text.
Yeah.
It was a great one to get out of the blue. It made my day. It made my wife's day. And I know you didn't do it for this. You didn't do this for this comment, but I thought it was good to share because
I think
I want the people that listen to us and our friends and the people that are on this podcast to go, you know what? That's what it's about. You know what? Let me reach out to that friend that I haven't talked to in a couple of years and just say I was thinking about you. And I hope the family's going well and you have a beautiful family and we love you and I hope you're doing well. And if you need anything, just those little acts of kindness just literally can reshape the world.
Yeah.
It really can.
I told you, I was starting to feel burnout, right? Like I'm just every day I'm forcing myself to get up and do the things I got to do because my energy's drained, right? My best friend, Ashley, from college called me yesterday out of the blue. And she and I are the type we could talk 2 or 3 times a year, but we see each other, we pick up right where we left off. She is my soul sister. I love her to death, right? And she and I have been through a lot together in college. she unfortunately went through a very hard time with a pregnancy loss within the last year. And so she and I have been reconnecting. And one of our other good friends who she's in Denver with just had a baby. So anyway, she called me yesterday and we're just talking. And I literally thought the same thing. I was like, she has no idea that her timing, I need it. Like I felt I tell Kian, we call it our heart battery. I started my heart battery to fill back up, you know? And I told her, I said, I feel guilty that I haven't reached out to Emma. She just had a baby a month ago and I haven't checked in like, hey, how are you? I remember what it was like to be a mom the first time.
Send her flowers.
How are you doing?
Yeah, send her flowers. Send her a care package. Just something nice.
Not how's baby, but how are you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, and I told my friend Ashley that. I said, I feel so guilty. I need to reach out. And then I had my other best friend, Amanda, back home in New Mexico. She is my ride or die. She and I have been through life together since we were 14. There are times I've called her crying. She's called me crying. She's the reason that I went to the hospital when I had a blood clot, because I sent her a picture 5 days after feeling the blood clot, and she's like, please get there. She probably saved my life.
Yeah.
Because knowing my stubborn self, I wouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
And it was, the doctors were like talking about through the hospital. That's how bad the blood clot was in my leg. And so she and I have always been there. And I'm like, why don't I call her more? Why do we get so busy to forget?
Well, because we excuse ourselves too, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we always tell each other. Oh, we're busy. Tomorrow, I'll get to it tomorrow. Tomorrow never happens. And we all get wrapped up in our own world. And like I said, I just think about how much time I waste doing stuff that brings no value.
Yeah.
And that brought so much value.
Yeah.
And it brought probably so much value to him, right? He was probably felt so good to send it. And I know him very well. He's a very, very close friend. So I know it was heartfelt. I know it was genuine.
They're good people.
And they're amazing people.
Yeah.
And and again, you just never know when someone needs to hear it.
Yeah.
And even if they didn't need to hear it at that time, who cares? It should just make you feel good. It just makes people feel good to know that people are out there thinking about them.
Don't undervalue a good friendship.
And put the effort in. Be the person that gives. And you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not saying you get taken for granted. I'm not saying you put up with BS. I'm not saying you deal with people that mistreat you. We're not saying any of that. What I'm saying is that it is so much greater for your soul when you put so much kindness into people. You show people that you care. Yeah, it is.
Dylan! Keep going.
Okay.
We were talking about him this week.
Yeah.
Dylan!
Part of it. I don't know if you heard. You might have to text him.
All right.
But anyway.
Because he needs to be on this, because we just talked about it.
So anyway, so thank you for the
Dylan,
text message. But for everyone out there that is thinking about sending that text or saying, hey, I haven't talked to this person in a long time, please do it. So
please surround yourself with matters, right?
Absolutely.
And your friendships include that. Dylan, come here.
So we started this episode. And
we did, and it's perfect timing on
and I'm actually showing my son on camera, which this is my son, Dylan.
Look how
and I know, look at his muscles and his tank top. It's so freaking ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh my! Why is this so hard? What did you put in there? Hairspray?
No, like clay.
He puts like paste in there. He's got to look good. We were at the football game yesterday. There was this kid that looked like him.
Yeah.
I thought it was him, and he had his shirt off, doing all this crazy stuff at the Marcus football game. And I was like, "Is that my son doing that? Doing all that crazy?" Thankfully, it wasn't him. I'm like, he's just trying to show his six pack off. But this was a major shout out. This is the kid that got into the University of Arkansas, got into his number one college. Couldn't be happier for him. Could not be prouder of him. And he's trying to knock out his chores early so that he can have fun with his friends. So super proud of this kid. And I know we don't typically bring our families into it. We probably need to do more of that. But this is my 17, almost 18-year-old kid that drives me absolutely insane and thinks he's got it all figured out. But we love him.
Yes,
and getting into college, with this kid, getting into college. So Dylan, is there anything you want to say to all the people that are listening about your dad's advice?
Generation.
And
like, subscribe. Tune in for more.
Anything else?
We pay you well.
Any other advice? I don't think my son's ever listened to one of my episodes.
I have.
Okay.
I listened to like the first two.
Wow, I think he's got like 40 more to go. Yeah, he's like, no, I hear my dad talk all the time.
Yeah, I hear the same.
No, Dylan, I want you to talk about, from your perspective, to going to college, like all the things. What made you excited about it? What got you to get that acceptance? All the stuff.
I don't know. It kind of took some convincing. I didn't really want to go at first because like all the money and all that, And I was just like, especially my generation, like there's so many other ways people make bread. So like
that's money for those people out there. You guys are gonna get a little. You're gonna get a little glimpse of that today's talk. So bread means money.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of people like don't really caring as much about college anymore. It's not as like needed. So I didn't really want to go at first. And like kind of like going on college tours and like actually seeing the college life, talking to like college friends and like my friends that are going to college. It just like kind of convinced me to like want to go.
You're gonna love it. I'm proud of you.
He's going to love it. He's going to get a lot of
don't tell you
experience
that
out of
enough.
it. He's
I
going to
was like, oh,
and,
my hair goes.
and although,
I was
like I said,
like-
I do think he's going to end up running his own business or being,
Yeah.
he'll
He's
do
an
he'll
entrepreneur
do something
through
in
and through.
sales. He already knows that he's going to
I'm
do
already
that.
gonna recruit him for real estate.
Do it. And I already told Dylan, I said, you're still going to learn these life lessons. You're still going to get this education. Still trying to figure out how I'm going to pay for this kid to do it. But as long as he keeps working hard,
This is your investment.
as long as he keeps working hard, that's exactly right. And I look at Dylan as an investment and in his future. And as long as he does what he's supposed to do, which I know he's going to, but to get into his #1 college, he's gone to a few. He's gotten a lot of acceptance letters. So this was a big deal. I was bummed for him that he got it via email, but the timing was perfect of Dylan coming out for this because this episode was really a cheers to you and how proud that your mom and I are that you're going to take this step.
All of us
so
too.
yeah,
All of your close
she was mad that I didn't
was.
share it, but I told her I said it was your news to share. So
I was like, dude, it's been a week and I'm just now finding this out.
Yeah.
I've been a sponsor of his fishing team for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
I'm invested in this kid.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, well, great episode today.
Yeah.
Elena, have the best vacation.
Thank you.
Our girl, Miss Elena, is going to Italy for the first time.
Little Ian's going too.
Actually,
Yeah.
what a flight to be for you.
Okay, that's what movies are about, Dylan.
That's movies, exactly. But Dylan loved Venice.
Yeah.
Venice was water. Go figure. Water and boats. No reason that Venice was
Can
number
I fish
one.
here?
But gosh, Dylan loves Italy, and this boy is a pasta eater, a pizza eater.
Oh, yeah.
So the food is insane. And
Kean's already called himself a pizza monster, Dylan.
Yeah, pizza there is legit. So
But we're proud of you, man.
we are proud of you guys. Thank you for everybody that continues to support us and
See you next
and
week.
continue to listen to us. And we'll take care, and we'll or you take care.
Cheers over your son.
And we will catch you on the next one.
Bye.